Hi guys, it's Amanda, and I figured that even though I didn't post much this year, I wanted to end this year with a video. So thankfully, 2020 is coming to an end. For me, has definitely been a year of massive self-work and self-growth. So I decided for my final video of the year that I would share 5 things that I learned this year and 5 goals that I want to take into 2021. I'm hoping that this will be relatable, inspirational, whatever you need from this video. I hope that it'll be that for you. If you haven't already, take the time to subscribe. I'm hoping to post more in 2021. That's one of my goals. And also like this video if it resonates with you, and follow me on my Instagram and Facebook if you are not already. And without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing that I wanted to talk about that I learned is that we are not what other people think of us, and we do not have to base our personality on other people's opinions of us. I think the first thing to acknowledge when we're talking about this is that everyone has a different opinion of literally everything, including you. And if 2020 hasn't made that clear, I don't know what year would make that clear for you. But the thing is, everyone has their own experiences, their own culture, their own just things that have happened to them that help them to base their opinions off of literally everything, down to what foods they like, all to what they think of you. You know, their spirituality, everything. It all is based off of their life experience and how they've experienced their time in this world. And everyone has a different one. So it would be literally impossible to base who you are off of other people's opinions, because no one has the same opinion. So one person might think that you're a rotten person, and another person might think the world of you. And it's not to say either of them are necessarily right or wrong, but you determine who you are. It's not to say that you should not take people's opinions into consideration, but you should not let them define you. You take the good, you take the bad, and you see how that fits with you, and then you figure out where you need to grow to be the best person that you can be, to live the life that you want to live. So while the things that people think of you might be something you want to give consideration, they just should not be things that define you. I feel like we hear things, and if you hear it enough, it becomes true. If you hear, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, this, that, it becomes a label that you put on yourself because you heard it so often, so you think it must be true. But the freeing thing, and it takes a lot of work, is to decide that you don't have to listen to what other people say. You can choose your destiny, you can choose who you are, you can choose how you present yourself to the world. One thing I recommend if you're struggling with this is finding affirmations on YouTube, and there's plenty of them. And you just start to realize how you talk to yourself, and you tell yourself that you're beautiful, you tell yourself that you're kind, and you'll notice that it'll start to shift. And this is something I've massively been working on this year, and I'll talk more about that later with another thing that I've been learning. But yeah, you ultimately define who you are. So don't let what other people label you as restrict you. If someone says you're shy, you're shy, you're shy, that does not mean you have to be shy. So just take what people say and use it to create the person that you want to be. That's my advice. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is to let go of things that do not serve you. So this can kind of relate to the last topic, where you're letting go of people's definitions and opinions of you. And if what those people are saying to you is toxic, it might even mean letting go of those people. And that can be really hard. It's hard to, decide to distance ourselves from people. Sometimes we feel obligated to be in people's lives, but that really comes down to what you believe. You don't have to necessarily cut them out, but if it is hurting you and preventing you from reaching your goals or being a better person or living a happy life, you do not deserve and are not obligated to keep those things in your life. You are allowed to be the creator of your own destiny. Social media is a big one. Like, we won't go with people close to us, but let's just say you're following a bunch of celebrities that make you feel like you have to have like a certain body image, a certain this or that. It's okay to unfollow them, and if following them is more detrimental to you, it might be getting rid of a bad habit, watching certain shows, listening too much to the news, whatever you feel is affecting you negatively and preventing you from being your best self. Those are things that have got to go, and that has been something that I've been learning this year, and just learning not to be so attached to these things and know that anything that doesn't make me happy does not have to be in my life. The third thing I learned this year was to be grateful for the things that are in my life. And I think this was so important this year with so many negative things happening and so many experiences lost and just so much devastation around. I'm not going to get into the details because you all know, you've all been living it, but it's been so important for me to remind myself of what I do have and not focus on all the things maybe that didn't happen this year or the things that I've lost, things like that. And that's not to say that you need to partake in toxic positivity and not acknowledge, your negative feelings. I think that that's really important, to be honest and truthful with yourself about how you feel. But I think also it's about not putting all of your energy into that negative space, but putting your energy into what you do have, even if it's just as simple as having a roof over your head, that you're still working if you are, your family that is around you. I know it's been a hard year not being able to see family members or friends, but just focusing on what you do have. Like, one thing I was really thankful for was being able to FaceTime with my friends, and yeah, it was not seeing them, and that still really was hard, but even knowing that we live in a time where we have access to that technology, and we don't have to not see each other or communicate at all. We don't have to write letters to each other. We can talk face to face through a phone at least, just the small things. And every day, or as often as possible, I've been trying to think of 5 things I'm grateful for, and I've been trying to post it and just to remind myself of the things that I have, and then encourage other people to do the same, because I feel like having that gratitude just brings in more things to be thankful for, and that's been something that's really got me through this year. This is a big one because I feel like a lot of times at this time of year, I would be planning my weight loss strategy or going back on to making sure that I'm gonna lose weight and all of that. But my mindset on this has really changed, and my goal this year has really been to just love my body for what it is. That's not to say that I don't have goals and I don't want to be healthier or whatever. It's just acknowledging that my body is a powerhouse that has been through so much. It's been through a car accident. It's survived cancer. This body is amazing. And it's just, I have spent so many years of my life kind of just feeling like it's awful. Feeling like I should be ashamed of my lower belly, or feeling that I can't wear certain clothes. And 2020 has been the year of me growing into not caring about that, to wearing things that I want to wear and knowing that I look freaking beautiful. And I can't even say how liberating that is. It's just so awesome. And I think I just want to spread that, and I want to continue with myself. Again, those affirmations that I talked about in the first one, all of that has been so vital to me. And I definitely still have bad body image days, but there's so much less, and I feel so much better about myself so often. And the second part of that is also listening to my body and what it needs. So for me, that is knowing like when I need to rest instead of pushing myself to do extra homework or extra work, or sometimes it means not doing a cleaning chore that I wanted to get done that day. I know that I'm not going to put my all into it, so instead of doing that, I actually rest. And I just have felt so much better, and I feel like once I've rested, I get so much more done. I do better work, and it's just been beneficial. And I feel like in a society where we are like programmed to go, we don't give ourselves that time. And I just find it so important, and it's been vital for me this year, especially when there was so much of the hype of getting things done, while we're quarantined, while we're staying at home. There's no need for that. Like, whatever you did this year, that was the best you can do. It was a hard year. Some people were depressed. Some people were scared. Like, the range of emotion, there was no need to feel like you had to be productive. You definitely could be if that was what helped you through the year, but there was also time to rest, time to relax, do what you need. And that has been great for me, and it's really helped me to not feel guilty about honoring myself and my feelings. So with all of that being said, it kind of wraps up into this last point that we are all human. We all have things that we need to do to grow. We all have shadows that we need to face, and we just need to be a little more understanding of each other and realize that we are all on our own journeys. We all are going to make mistakes. We all are going to hurt each other at one point or another. We all are going to say things we don't mean. We all make mistakes is the point. And for any of us to think that we're better than anyone else, it's just ridiculous, because we all have our own baggage. We all have our own things that we need to deal with. And I think what I've learned this year is trying to view things through other people's eyes and not so quick to judge without looking in the mirror first and knowing that I have my own stuff to deal with. So what are my goals going into the new year? They're not so much concrete goals as they are, to continue on the path that I have been. For one, more kindness. I want to make sure that the people that I encounter, that I have in my life, feel loved and supported. And even the people I don't know, I just want to be a kind of person that emanates love and kindness and compassion, because this world just really needs a little more of that. And with that being said, I also want to give myself that love and compassion and continue on the self-love journey. So rather than my New Year's resolution being I want to lose X amount of pounds, it's continuing to learn to love my body, to continue exploring fashion that makes me feel beautiful, to continue experimenting with makeup, and to continue just loving myself when I'm in a sweatshirt with no makeup like I am today. It's just, I really want to love myself and be the best me that I can be. And then going off of the fifth point that I learned this year, I really want to focus on less judgment, on really understanding that everyone is going on their own path, and everyone is struggling with things that we don't know and could never know. And just going back to being more compassionate and more kind to everyone, regardless of whether they've made mistakes, and just being more understanding. I don't want to be the person that makes anyone feel bad about things that they've done, because I wouldn't want people to make me feel bad about mistakes I've made. I think we all just need to support each other in becoming the best humans that we can be. And the fourth thing is, I want to really worry less. I think that I've gotten so much better about that this year, but worry is just something that doesn't help. It gets you all ramped up and you just anxiety is such a crappy thing. But you think of all of these scenarios that are probably never going to happen, and what does it get you? And even if the worst case scenario does happen, what does worrying about it beforehand do but make it 10 times worse? So rather than that, I just would rather trust in the universe, trust that everything is going to work out, and live in the moment and do what I can in the moment. And my last, probably most vague goal for this year is that I just want to continue to grow more. I guess, that's a goal for every day, every month, every year, but I really want to continue on the track I have been. I want to continue meditating. I want to continue doing my tarot cards. I want to continue reading more books. I just want to take it all in, grow. I want to learn from the mistakes I've made this year, which are many. The mistakes I've made in the past week, in the past month. I know that I am far, far from a perfect person, but I am perfectly, imperfectly me. And I just hope to continue to become better, learn from the things that I've done, try new things, and yeah. So that's it, guys. I hope that you have had an okay 2020. I know it has been a complete crap show, but I hope that you made it through. You can go into 2021 strong, and that we just all have a really great year. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the new year. Bye.